Hey guys, welcome to our review. I'm Mr. P and today I'm going to be doing a review of a little eGo battery. I'm doing the Kanger IPOW 2 is what I'm doing today. Now I don't tend to go with eGo batteries, and you know I will review anything. People send them to me, I'll review them, and I have done in the past for eGo batteries and so on and so forth. I bought this one because I was intrigued. So that's what I'm doing today, the Kanger IPOW 2. Now they're available all over the place, from around 20 to 30 quid depending on where you shop and you know what version you get. They're available in 1000, 1300 and 1600 milliamp hour. I bought obviously the 1600 mAh version, but that's what I'm doing today, the Kanger IPOW 2. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to quickly take this little box, I'm going to stick it on the table to show you what's in the battery, what's in the box, sorry, and what you get, and a little bit of information about the battery. Then I'll come back up to me and we'll have a nice little vape. Right guys, quick look up close of the Kanger IPOW 2. So first of all, the box it comes in, paper box, or you know, card box, whatever. You've got some features on the back here: temperature protected system, micro USB charging, OLED, heat displacement holes, double protected battery, wattage adjustable, you know, battery capacity, and so on and so forth. And core resistance of down to 1 ohm, so that's cool. Let's open her up and see what we get inside. So let's have a look inside. What we get? Let's get this stuff out of the way first. So we've got our charging cable, USB charging cable, micro, lovely. We've got a bit of information in here. Let's just have a little look. In fact, okay, so you've got, you know, the relevant mAh, and then the length and the weight and so on. This is a 1600 mAh version, and it is a big old beastie for what it is. And then you've got some, you know, other bits and bobs in there that you may want to reference at some point if you purchase this battery. Now, IPOW. So let's get her in there. IPOW there, and then in here, what you've got is, sorry guys, let me clear this shit. What you've got is a 510 to eGo adapter. So unlike most batteries, the IPOW's gone different. As opposed to giving you eGo threading as standard, meaning that really you only want to use eGo threaded devices on it because otherwise it's going to look ridiculous. What they've done is made you a flat top with air paths cut into it like so. Okay, let me bring you in actually. There we go. But air paths cut into it. Okay, and then they've included this. So what you do, you screw that bad boy in, and then that's an eGo battery. And it's a seamless eGo battery as well, because of the way the 510 extensions are designed. But that is now an eGo battery as you'd know it. But for those of you that are a little bit more advanced, or have a bit more advanced gear, or want to move on to a bit more advanced gear, off it comes, and there you go. That is awesome sauce. In what I mean in the way the 510 is designed, you see it's got a chamfered edge there, so it neatly sits into the chamfered edge there. So it's been very well thought out, this, and that I like. So let me pop that in there. Now this itself is the battery. Let's have a little look around there first of all. So at the bottom, got Kanger logo there, lovely. CE markings and so on at the back. Stainless steel finish, this one obviously, as you can see. We've got our heat displacements here, just in case there is an issue. Our battery, sorry, our fire button or an off button there, with a light indication, so on. 5 click off and then 5 click back on. Sometimes these eGo batteries are a bit sketchy. Sometimes it's 6. You'll know this if you've got them. Down at the bottom, Kanger IPOW 2 and the screen, which we'll get onto. More heat displacement here, and then charging through the side. Now this is more important than I think people will realise. Not only does it have to be the way because the adjustment's done through the base, but how many times have we put stuff on charge from the bottom and it's done that rolling off and falls over? You put that there, you put it on charge and it sits solid, you leave it, which I think is cool. Will it interfere with vaping while you use it? Because it will be a pass-through, and it is a pass-through. Possibly, depending on how you hold it, but you can get around that by switching hands. So that's that. Now, this is a variable wattage mod. I'll say mod because, to be honest with you, that to me isn't an eGo battery anymore. It's gone above and beyond. I mean, don't get me wrong, it technically is, but let's face it, it does 3 to 15 watts and it's 18mm wide. This is a mod, if ever I saw one. So that's 3 to 15 watts, and I'm going to bring you in as close as I can. Hopefully you can make it out. 3 to 15 watts, and that's adjusted by turning the spinner there. Now you may notice also you've got a full battery indication and a resistance checker. Anyone who tries to tell me this ain't a mod is wrong. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. So what I'm going to do, let me just screw on an atomizer. Threads are nice and smooth as well, guys. Screw on an atomizer. I'm using a dripper. You know what I'm like. I was always going to use a dripper. In fact, I'm using this, an eGo S with a ridiculously big blue top hat. But if I screw on that now, let me just. Okay, so that resistance to that is 1.3 ohms for around 14 watts. It's a full battery indication here, and when you charge it, it's got a battery indication that fills up, not just tells you it's charging, but tells you how far along its charge cycle it is. And it's adjusted like so, very easily, very quickly. This dial has a bit of resistance, but not too much, and all the way down to 3, and it does round robin. Okay, so 3, 15, 1.3 ohms little LED screen. How far have we progressed? Honestly, that is awesome. So that was a very quick show and show. What I'm going to do now is bring it up to me, have a nice little chat about it. Right guys, welcome back up to me. So Kanger IPOW 2. As I said in the close-up, this thing is verging on a mod now. It's a mod. It's not an eGo battery anymore, is it? I mean, a couple of things that you see in the close-up. Firstly, charging cables included. Secondly, little OLED screen up to 15 watts. Thirdly, the eGo adapter up there. So you could buy this as an eVod user or a ProTank 3 Mini user or a Mini 2 or whatever it is you've got this eGo threaded. Slop it in and you've got an eGo battery. And you'd look at that and go, that's an eGo battery. But then when the time came, you could off with the adapter and stick something a bit more adventurous on here. Nautilus Mini, for example. This is 18.5mm, so it is a bigger battery than an eGo battery, and it is tall, but this is a 1600 mAh version. Again, the other versions are smaller. I've been using this for a few days, and I mean, you know me, I've got an eGo S and I've got a drip on it, of course I have, but you could get any of the rebuildable tanks, sorry, the replacement tanks, you know, your ProTank 3s. And I do want to say, guys, these new Aspires, these new Pro tanks, I've tried them recently, the Nautilus Mini. These tanks are so impressive now. They really are. Like 2 years ago when I started, people were envious of the amount of stuff that we had to choose from. I'm envious of what people can choose from now. The setups you can get to start with that are as easy as an eVod kit to use. You could get this with a Mini Nautilus, and honestly, you'd never need anything else if that's all you wanted to do. There's so much progression happened. It makes me smile. It really does. But let me have a little vape. It's just a little iOS. So I'm going to go into my 5-point hit list on this. I do to cover all the bases and have a little chat about it on the way. First of all is looks. Now I was actually with Worm when I bought this, and he bought one for himself and one for his sister as well. He got it in black. This is a stainless steel version. My preference is a stainless steel. The black one does look equally nice though, if I'm honest with you. It's just I prefer the look of this one. So that being said, you've got a little screen down here, your dial at the bottom with a Kanger logo on. I like that. Bit of Kanger Tech branding. I like the slots here, not only because they look cool, but they're functioning. They act as heat displacements, so that's great. You've got your charging port on the side, which is, it's nice to sit on the side. Again, as I said in the close-up, it's compulsory because you couldn't stick it through the bottom because it twists to adjust it, but it's nice it's on the side and it looks equally cool. The top 18mm flat, so you can flush mount whatever you want on top of here. You've got the eGo, the 510 to eGo and 510. It's a 10 for looks. I think it looks cool. If anything, to me, because it's bigger than an eGo battery, both in length and in width, it makes it better for me because I feel more comfortable using it. eGos I find are a bit too small for me. I've become acclimatised to these big batteries, and this is somewhere in between. So I'm going to give it a 10 for looks. I think it's a great looking little thing. Need to drip that. Next would be usability. Now this again is somewhere I think this does well because it takes some of the functionality of a mod and combines it with the usability of an eGo. So you click it 5 times to turn it on, click it 5 times to turn it off. You've got the display down here, it tells you what's on the top there in terms of resistance, and you spin this until you're happy with what you're getting. It's a 10. It's very, very usable. You plug it in to charge it, charges itself away. So 10 for usability. It's a piece of piss. It really is. It's you look at the instructions once, you'll never need to again. It's very usable. It's a 10. Maintenance is what's next. Now all you've got to do is charge the thing really. Keep your connection clean at the top, give it a little earbud treatment, you know, now and again, just to keep any juice that may have spilled over into it off of it to give you a solid connection. Other than that, there's nothing really that needs to be maintained in here. It's a 10. You just wipe it down. Yes, it's obviously a 10. There's not really a lot that you have to do with this that you wouldn't have to do with any other eGo battery. I mean, in fact, there's nothing. So 10 for that. Got a little hot patch. I think it's where my thumb was on it. The next would be build quality and price. Now, I've had this, as over a few days. I've had it rolling around in my car. I've had it knocking over here and there and everywhere, falling out my pocket, being knocked off the sides. It's not got a mark on it. Now, if you had the black version, it might do, but this hasn't got a mark on it. The spinning dial or the spinning bottom, whatever, on the base, I suppose is the best way to describe it. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It feels resistant to any point, but not ridiculously hard to turn. The 510 feels smooth as butter. It's a 10 for build quality. Now price, I think price very much depends on your outlook. 25 quid, we'll call it there or thereabouts, for an eGo battery is expensive, but it's no more expensive than spinners and winders and, you know, all that kind of batteries we've been buying previously. So I don't think in that respect it's expensive. Also, when you consider that this thing effectively, I'm not saying it's exactly, but effectively has the same kind of power output that my Vamo did, and in fact it will run coils down to 1 ohm where my Vamo only goes to 1.2, and the Vamo is 40 quid in battery and charge and everything else. I think that again, you know, weighs in and makes it a very good value. For me, this isn't an eGo battery, it's mod, but it's not a Vamo or you know, something more powerful, you know, an SVD or something like that. It kind of nichely fits in between because it does more than an eGo, you know, but it isn't quite on the same level as their mod, so it's got to fit somewhere, and it's created its own little market, if you like. So price, I think it's a 10. When you factor that in, an average eGo battery costs you 15 and the average model costs you about 40 without the additions. I think this fits nice and neatly in between. So I think that's a 10. Now overall, it's a 10. It is a 10. It's a great battery, it really is. But the thing that I like about this more than anything is that it makes things simple. In the same way that the Mini Nautilus has made it easy to get a great vape from a tank, this makes it easy to get a great experience from an easy battery. A lot of people out there, and as much as you guys, you know, those who watch me regularly of my Facebook group and stuff, know, you know, a lot about vaping. They're very, very, you know, experienced, and this is your hobby and you love doing it as much as I do, and that's fantastic. For a lot of people out there, the majority of people, in fact, we are the minority, guys, this is just about stopping smoking. But a lot of people divert back onto smoking because they're not satisfied, they're not getting what they want. This makes a bit more power accessible. This is a nice entry level to advanced vaping, if you like, and for that I think this thing is worth its weight in gold, because that's going to give them people who are scared of mods, don't want mechs, don't want batteries and chargers and all that kind of rebuildable bollocks, they don't want that, but they want something more than what they've got. This is perfect for them because it looks like an eGo battery. They're familiar with eGo batteries, they're everywhere, but it's got more to it, and for that I think it's probably one of the best releases I've seen in this year. I know the Vision Spinner 2 was good and so on, but not as good as this, if you ask me. So yeah, for that reason and that reason alone, It's a 10. It is a 10. It's a great price, and effectively, like I say, it's in between a mod and an eGo battery, you know, and it's got everything that really you would ever need to have for 25 quid. This is off of an eGo battery effectively, and a little dripper. This setup here has cost around 35 quid. If you include the drip, that's one Dibley's drip tips, so it's a 10, that's a 45 quid for the drip tip. But you know what I'm saying? You know, that with a little eGo L, this with a mini Nautilus, you could buy that as a beginner and not struggle to set it up any more than you would an eVod. And that, I think, is fantastic. It really does. I really like this battery, guys. If you are after an out and about battery, then grab yourself one of these bad boys, because they are spot on. I'm not going to sit and blurb over it anymore. I think it's come across that I think it's a great thing, and not just because of what it does, but for what it does for the market, and for everyone else out there. So yeah, I recommend it, guys. I recommend you go and check it out and find one if you want one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Mr. P. Shall see you soon.